this meeting of your Westland City Council to order. We will begin tonight's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Pro Tem Sandy.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pro Tem Sandy, for leading us in the pledge. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilwoman Bowman. Present. Councilwoman Martin. Present. Councilwoman Maxwell. Present. Councilwoman Barkowski. Present. Councilman Sullivan.
Here.
Pro Tem Sampe. Here. Council President McDermott.
Here.
Quorum is present.
All right, before we get started for tonight's meeting, I did want to take a moment to recognize someone very important to our community that we lost just the other week. Unfortunately, we had the passing just before the holiday of a longtime Westland civil servant and firefighter, Ken Sharp. Ken served in the Westland Fire Department for over 20 years, when he retired in 1994 at the rank of battalion chief, I believe. And Ken, in addition to his longstanding service in our Westland Fire Department, was also a longtime member of the Norwayne Community Citizens Council, and both a resident of the Norwayne community and a longtime volunteer in Norwayne. Ken and his wife Carol have worked tirelessly here for not only our Norwayne community, but our Westland community And our thoughts and our prayers certainly go out to Carol and the entire Sharp family. And if we could have a moment of silence for Ken Sharp, please. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk.
All right, now we're going to go into nominations for council president and pro tem. I'm just going to go over briefly the procedure for the election of council leadership. Nominations may be made by a self-nomination or nomination by a council member. These nominations do not require a second, but a motion to close nominations must be made and supported. So is there a nomination for council president?
I nominate Mike McDermott for council president.
Council President, I motion to close nominations.
There's a motion to close nominations. Is there support?
Support.
There's a motion to close nominations by Councilman Rakowski, supported by Pro Tem Sampe. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none? Motion passes. Thank you.
Now we move to nominations for council president.
Go ahead. Yep.
Sorry about that.
We have to,
I think,
we have to formal vote,
I think now we have to vote
formal vote, right. Yep,
institute
to make it official.
the one
Yes.
nominee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Councilwoman Bauman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Councilwoman Maxwell. Yes. Councilwoman Rutkowski.
Yes.
Councilman Sullivan.
Yes.
Pro Tem Sampe.
Yes.
Council President McDermott.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we move to nominations for council president pro tem.
Are there any nominations for Pro Tem? Yes, Councilwoman Martin.
I nominate Lakeisha Maxwell.
Are there any other nominations for Council President Pro Tem? Yes.
I would like to nominate myself.
Okay. Councilwoman Emily Bauman. Are there any other nominations for Council President Pro Tem?
Motion to close nominations.
There's a motion to close nominations by Pro Tem Sampe, seconded by Councilwoman Rakowski. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, nominations are closed.
Okay, so since we have two nominees, I'm going to write their names on a piece of 3x5 paper. I'm going to place them into the box, shake it, and then draw them out, and we will vote on the names as they were drawn out. So the first name I'm going to print is Lakeisha Maxwell. I'm going to put it in this box. And the next name, Emily Bauman.
And we got to do the Richard LeBlanc look in the box.
Look in the box, there's two cards in here, nothing else. All right, and we're going to shake these up. Shake it, two. All right. First name is Lakeisha Maxwell. And the second is Emily Bauman. Okay.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
All right, this will be for the nomination for Council President Pro Tem, Lakeisha Maxwell. Councilwoman Bauman.
No.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Councilwoman Maxwell. Yes. Councilwoman Rutkowski.
Yes.
Councilman Sullivan.
Yes.
Pro Tem Sampe.
Yes.
President McDermott.
Yes.
Motion passes. We will not move on to the next nominee.
Yep, so just so folks know, when someone does win on the first ballot, there is not going to be a second vote because that person is nominated as the pro tem. So if you're looking at the order on the agenda too, we did have this before we get into our citizens' comments on the agenda and our special announcements and presentations because we are required to have this come up first on the agenda. So that's why you saw this first before we get into the agenda. So we have not skipped over citizens' comments, and we've not skipped over our special announcements and presentations. And in fact, we do have one very special announcement and presentation from Councilwoman Melissa Sampe and our Westland Goodfellows. You guys can trade afterwards.
Yeah. I don't know if this is.
Are we on?
Here we are. Hello? Okay.
We're
So before I go down there and present some awards, I have a short video that I'd like to share with everyone in the room that just recaps our season with Westland Goodfellows. We're here with the Westland Goodfellows. We are doing packing day here at Jefferson Barnes Vitality Center. And this is a special day because what we have is we have probably about 50 volunteers that are walking through, they're packing the bags. We have a wish list that is given to us by the family. And what we do is we try to match that wish list as best as possible. So as you can see here, there's a ton of toys. We take care of Wesleyan families the best way that we can. And this year we have 400 children in our program. So we appreciate everyone that came out today, all of our sponsors, and all of the volunteers that made today possible. I'm back again. It's Melissa Sampe from the Westland Goodfellows, and I am back this time with Sergeant Jeff Capodra from the Westland Police Department, who is also a board member at the Westland Goodfellows. So you guys recently held a toy drive for the Westland Goodfellows on Black Friday, and we want to thank the Westland Police Department. Actually, we have one of our police officers, Officer Kelly, who stopped by. So anyways, we want to thank everyone that came out on Black Friday and donated. That toy drive actually was a huge success, wasn't it?
23 carts, 6 or 7 bikes, a lot of money, and a lot of gift cards.
And a lot of what you see behind us is actually fueled by the Westland Police Department and their donation toy drive. So we want to thank everyone that came out to Myers, that came out on Black Friday and donated and showed support for Westland Goodfellows. So is there anything else that I missed?
I don't think so. I think you got it all.
All right. Thank you so much to Meyer for your allowing us to host there, and to the Westland Police Department. I am back again from Westland Goodfellows. We are actually winding down on our packing day here at Jefferson Barnes, and I am very honored to be here with also a donor who has come year over year to sponsor families, but our U.S. Congresswoman, Rashida Tlaib, who you brought some guests this time too.
We have our Congressional Youth Council folks here. They're high school students throughout the congressional district. Some here from Livonia, Westland, Dearborn, Detroit, and they're really having a great time. A lot of them are asking me questions about various toys and board games, but I told them I love this program because I actually was a recipient of the program when I was a little girl.
And what does this mean for your district? Because all of the families are Westland. So what does this mean for your district that Westland Goodfellows is doing this?
I think it's so important because sometimes we're always wanting to make sure our children have clothes, right? And they are fed and they have good schools and safe communities. But sometimes we have to create memories for them too and bring joy to their families. And this does that. I've actually gone out to deliver some of the packages, and parents are crying, they're tearing up. Mother just wouldn't stop hugging me. And the kids they didn't even wait for Christmas. They took the bags and ran into the house, super excited. So we're also bringing these beautiful memories and showing them that it's not gonna, you don't have to be alone. Like, our whole community is wrapping our arms around you this holiday season and showing that we love them and that we have their back.
Thank you. Yeah, and I know last year, I think you took quite a bit of kids, 15 if I'm not mistaken, and this year you came in and you took another 15. So I want to thank you again for being here, for taking our program under your wing and really shopping for those families. Is there any last thoughts or anything for anyone that might be really interested to be involved with Westland Goodfellows? What can we say?
So I'm speaking to you not as only as your congresswoman, but as a mom. I wish I brought my kids here today. I think it's really important for them to see, and especially because sometimes as parents, we're making sure that our kids understand, gratitude, but also understand how to give back. And so if don't just donate, maybe bring your families out, let the children know and your kids know, like, there are families that don't have everything that they have, and that this is how we show, love and joy and give back in a way that's incredibly special. So, for all of you that are thinking about how to support, know that you can also bring your kids and make this a family annual event. And I promise you, your kids will learn a lot of values here by doing that. Yeah.
And thank you so much, like I said, for bringing out the teenagers, because you're absolutely right. It really makes a difference for those teenagers that are sitting at home on their phones, and we see the wish list. They want their phones, they want the iPads, and they don't have them. So thank you so much for supporting us, for bringing these students out here. And I will have a link in this video for you to hit our website, which has more information.
So what we're doing, these are the families that got adopted, and we are going through, because we also provide stocking stuffers. So the families that get adopted, of course, an organization or individual will adopt them. They buy gifts for them, but we provide stocking stuffers for the kids, like toothbrush, toothpaste, and we also provide food gift cards for Heartland Market. So right now we have to make up the bags for the stocking stuffers for the adopted families. That's what we're doing.
What I'm really proud of as being part of this organization is I'm also a teacher in the community for Wayne Westland Community Schools. So I see directly the impact that our organization has on families and children. And, this program allows there to be so much grace and for the families, because they even get to contribute their own desires for their children, right? So the children have wish lists, but we're able to provide them food, and we're able to provide them an opportunity to do that special moment that every parent wants of getting something for their child. So this organization is just such a blessing for our community, and I'm just really proud to be a part of it.
And Goodfellows started like 56 years ago, and back then all they got was a toy. Like, the girls got a baby doll, and the boys got a truck. And the way that they raised money was by selling they called the newspaper boys, and they would sell newspapers, and that's how they raised money. But today it's involved into so much more than just a toy. But it's just amazing. There's just a great group of people on the board this year. We're excited. There's a lot more we want to do besides, the Christmas program. So it's very exciting. And all of this is not possible without our donors, our sponsors, our volunteers. As they say, it takes an army. So very grateful for everybody that helps with the Goodfellows and is involved. It's amazing.
Well, we just completed packing day here for the 2025 Christmas season for Westland Goodfellows. I just want to thank all of our volunteers. I want to thank Time Blaster Toys. They donated $8,000 worth of toys. Westland Police Department for their Stuff a Squad truck. We have Bidigary Contractors who came in big. Izaki, who took a bunch of families. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib that took a bunch of families. And a bunch of other donors that I'll have listed here in this video. But again, I want to thank everyone who supported our program this year, the Westland City Administration, my colleagues on the Westland City Council that came out today, all of our sponsors, all of our donors. So everyone that got a letter in the mail and donated, and again, all of our big sponsors. So I wish everyone a beautiful Christmas, and we will see you next year. Hello? Here we go. So thank you so much. This was just a recap video, and I'm here with Rhonda Nestor, who's one of our co-presidents with myself. I'm also here with Councilwoman Rakowski, who's on our board, and Mayor Coleman. If there's any other board members that are in the audience that wish to come up here at this time, please join us. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm going to go through this very quickly, the larger ones. Obviously, I want to give an opportunity just for applause. The Westland Police Department at a $10,000 in-kind donation. Feel free to join us and accept your award. Let's give them a round of applause. As you can see, that Meyer, they donated the space. Westland Police Department bought the media and promoted it, so thank you so much, because really without you, our season would have been very difficult to maintain. Thank you very much. Thank you. Next up was a new sponsor this year. They came in huge. They donated over $8,000 worth of toys. Time Blaster Toys was located in Westland, Michigan, and they still love Westland so much. They're in Livonia. So Nathan from Time Blaster Toys, if you want to join us and accept the award. Mel and Keith, the owners, could not be here because their daughter's birthday was today. But we want to thank you guys just for working so hard. They did a toy drive for us as well. As he's doing that, I'm going to kind of group the rest of them, if that's okay. So I'd like to invite our Christmas Star sponsors, which is Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, Bidigary Contractor, St. John Church. That's okay. For the Congresswoman? Are you accepting for the Congresswoman? No, there she is. I'm in front of her. Yeah, St. John's. Nope, this is St. John's. Sharon. That's okay. This is from the issue we try to get in touch with. So we have this one and this. We have a big one.
Yeah, my husband Ted is president of Good Fellows.
Oh, wow.
So because we're.
So this is for you guys with Sharon. I don't know if there's anyone from Bidigary. Okay, we'll get that to Bidigary. And Izaki was also part of this group, but they couldn't be here today. Okay. Do a quick picture?
Sure, not quite.
That's okay, Sharon. You can hold both of them.
Hello, hello.
Okay. Awesome, thank you so much. The next group we'll bring up is Yelp. If Annette is here, I'm not sure if I saw her. Knights of Columbus, if you want to join us up here. And then also STEP, Services to Enhance Potential. And I also want to recognize Step 2 because they ended up doing a roundup program for the Westland Goodfellows, which was a new partner this year. All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. Okay, in the next group, we're going to bring up OHM advisors. Soleil Construction could not be here. And then I'll group the rest of them just in honor of time. Plant Marana, if you want to join us. If there's anyone here from DTE Energy, Westland Professional Firefighters, Fassone and Grisco, and Wager Talk, who is a new sponsor this year. And then we also have the the Westland Rotary, who is one of our Joyful Giving sponsors. I'm not sure who would like to accept on behalf. Oh, Kyle.
We got Rotarians everywhere. Half the room.
The other last one's the Candy Cane sponsor, Westland Democratic Club, whoever would like to accept on their behalf. And then if anyone's here from Hennessy Engineering. Thanks, Donna. This is actually good stuff. Thanks, guys, for your support. The last one is actually our Lifesaver Award for this year. Westland Community News, if people follow anything online, they came in huge. So the last minute we had a family, actually two families, very large, and we had learned that their sponsor had backed out, which means in the 11th hour, you struggle and you try to figure out how you're going to provide a Christmas. So I know that they could not be here today. I will give this with the Knights of Columbus, but I just wanted to honor the Westland Community News as having the Lifesaver Award for this year and coming in to making sure that 20 children had a Christmas. So that's pretty much wrapping up our season. Just to give everyone a quick recap, we helped over 400 children. The week of Christmas, myself and Rhonda were there nearly every day. We had last-minute requests. We had individuals that went to other organizations that could not be accepted. So we were able to help, I would say in total, probably close to 450 Westland children. So our program helps only Westland. So we're going to be doing great things this year. We talked about doing some holiday events and some other things. So we want to thank everyone for your support. We want to thank everyone for your donation, for your adoptions. And you'll be seeing much more of Westland Goodfellows because, again, this helps out our community and helps out our children.
Trading seats? Yeah.
Do you need help? We are just trading spaces here. Bear with us. Right up top. All right, well, it looks like we are all set here. We will now move on to questions or input on the agenda from the public. This section will allow members of the public at the beginning of the meeting to address the council regarding items that are on tonight's business agenda. Questions asked may be responded to during the agenda item following a motion and support from your Westland City Council. Is there anyone, questions on the agenda on my right? Anyone, questions or input on the agenda on my left? Mr. Warren, yes.
Good evening. Under the consent calendar, item I. Now, I approve of the repairs on the digital signs because you know I was big on digital signs in regard to being placed around the city. But I have to question the placement of the Cayley Park digital sign. Seems like the vandals have been running wild over there. I'm all in agreement to repair it this time, but if it happens another time, maybe we should consider another location which has more higher visibility and maybe to lessen the vandalism of the sign, because if we have to do this every year, repair the sign on a yearly basis, that it far exceed the price of the sign, and it just doesn't make any sense to do it that way. So I approve the repairs, but it hasn't been the end of the vandalism in Cayley Park in that particular area, and the sign has always been a victim to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Is there anyone on my right? Comments on the agenda? Anyone on my left? Okay, seeing and hearing, oh, yeah, Ms. Warren.
Good evening, and this is also in regards to item I. I am in agreement with Mr. Warren that it is nice to have the repairs done, because we do have people who are low income who do not have access to information. So imagine if you don't have a phone, you don't have internet, you don't get the leaflets from the water bill, you're a renter, you don't have access to information of what's going on in the city. So it is imperative that we do have signage, but it would be nice if we started to get more police presence within Cayley Park around the area. We know that this is a high vandalism, situation. We're paying out of the Community Development Block Grant Fund for a police officer for the, these areas that are, block grant eligible, and we're just not seeing extra police presence. Even after the sign was vandalized, still are not seeing police presence. Gave a timeline of when it's being vandalized, still not seeing police presence. So it's just not happening. So we're asking, we're begging, we're pleading to please be able to keep our information outlet to our community safe and secure, and to have police presence so these things aren't occurring. So that's what I ask of you, and I'm thankful that we are getting it fixed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Warren. Is there anyone else in the audience comments on the agenda? Anyone else? Seeing and hearing none, we will close public comment on the agenda and move to the consent calendar. Is there a motion?
So moved. Support.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Rakowski, supported by Councilwoman Sampe. Are there any changes to the consent calendar? Yes, Councilwoman Baumann. Yes.
On an item. May I ask a question? on an item?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So on item N, the chair, I just want to have a clarifying question, just because I'm looking at this motion, and I want to make sure that I'm understanding that this sale is for the purpose of, if I understood it correctly, the purpose of building 2 homes, private residences on each property. So each property will maintain being a private home. So that's kind of like one part, and then the second part is, do we know when that will get started?
Yeah, it needs to be moved off at that point for them to answer it. So I think we're going to have to, you want to make a motion to move item N to new business?
I'll move.
Since they have to answer it back.
Okay, may I make a motion to move item N to new business?
There is a motion to move item N to new business. Is there support?
Support.
There's support by Councilwoman Martin. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes. Councilwoman Baumann.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Councilwoman Maxwell. Councilwoman Rutkowski.
No.
Councilman Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sampe.
Yes.
President McDermott.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, are there any other changes to the consent calendar? Any other changes to the consent calendar? Okay, seeing and hearing none, motion passes as amended.
Council has approved the following consent calendar items: minutes of regular meeting held December 15th, 2025, minutes of study session held December 15th, 2025, approval of bid for Bay Court Walking Path Project to pave a path from Bay Court to Merriman Road from Blaine Contracting, approval of purchase of a new play structure for Northgate Park, approval of bid for professional services related to the Home Buyer Assistance Program, 3-year contract to National Faith Home Buyers for a fee of $1,000 per approved home buyer. Approval of bid for demolition of blighted properties, recommends McMillan Group. Demolition of 32274 and 32276 Iron Court and 1448 Elias. Approval of bid to add parking lot lighting at Jefferson Barnes on the east and rear parking lots from PWD Contracting. Approval of bid to repave west parking lot at Jefferson Barnes. Approval of bid for digital sign repair at Cayley Park West. Approval of no B4 email and cybersecurity training subscription renewal through CDWG. Adoption of 2026 annual performance resolution between the City of Westland and the Michigan Department of Transportation to construct, operate, and/or use the state highway right-of-way area on roads that are under the state's jurisdiction within the City of Westland. Adoption of proposed resolution approving Wayne County Annual Permit A-26158, authorizing the City of Westland to apply to the County of Wayne Department of Public Services Engineering Division Permit Office for permits to conduct emergency repairs, annual maintenance work, and for other purposes on local and county roads located entirely within the boundaries of the community. Approval of MOU with the City of Wayne for resurfacing of Glenwood Road between Hannon and Newburgh in 2026 under MDOT's Transportation Improvement Program, which borders the cities of Wayne and Westland. Approval of request from Demigu Community USA to waive the administrative City Hall rental fee to host a gala in the Grand Ballroom at Westland City Hall on July 25th, 2026 at 5 p.m. Approval of request from Westland Arts Foundation to waive the administrative City Hall rental fee to host an event in the Grand Ballroom at Westland City Hall on February 12th, 2026 from 5 to 9. Adoption of prepared resolution to declare the month of January 2026 Human Trafficking Prevention Month in the City of Westland. Moving to payment of voucher.
Is there a motion? Is there support? Motion by Councilwoman Rakowski, supported by Councilwoman Pro Tem Maxwell. Is there any discussion from the maker? No. Any discussion from the supporter? Any other discussion from the council? Any other discussion? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
New business, item number 1, approval of requests to reprogram CDBG and home program funds.
Is there a motion? So moved. There's a motion by Councilwoman Sampe, supported by Councilwoman Rakowski. Director Campbell, did you have anything that you wanted to add before we turn it over to the council? Okay. Is there any discussion from the maker? Any discussion from the supporter? Is there any other discussion from the council? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
Okay, just give me one moment, please. All right, moving on to new business, 1A, formerly consent calendar N. Approval of sale of city-owned property 1990 and 2000 Player Circle to Alexander Termos.
So move.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Baumann. Is there support? Supported by Councilwoman Rakowski. I'm guessing there is discussion. Question from the maker.
Just have a clarifying question, because I looked at it, but I did not actually get a chance to call the director, so through the chair, do I need to repeat the question? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Good evening, City Council. Thank you for the question. There are 2 single-family lots here in question. The buyer is proposing to build a single-family dwelling on each of the 2 lots, and they have to complete construction. Let me make sure I have that correct. They have 2 years to complete construction of those single-family dwellings.
Okay. That's it? All set? Is there any other discussion from the council? Any other discussion? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
New business, item number 2, approval of bid of the Norwayne Culvert Repair Project.
Motion by Councilwoman Rakowski. Is there support? Support. Supported by Councilwoman Baumann. Is there any discussion from the maker?
Thank you, Council President. No, I'm just happy to see that the culverts in that area are going to be taken care of. They're been a long time overgrown, and there seems to be some water retention issues. So hopefully this brings some relief to the residents of Norway.
Absolutely. Thank you, Councilwoman. Is there any discussion from the supporter? Any other discussion from the council? Did you have?
Yeah,
Yes.
Emilena. Yeah, thank you so much. Through the chair to whoever's managing the project, who would that be?
That'd be, I think, Director Campbell.
Okay.
possibly.
Director Campbell, do you have a timeline on this, just so we know what to expect if residents ask us?
Yes, thank you through the council president. Our city contract will require that the work is completed within 90 days once we receive approval from the historic preservation folks to move forward with the project.
Okay, great. So we would expect to see something probably before spring.
Well, they'll probably start in the spring because
That's when they'll start beginning. Okay.
right, they can't
Okay.
work during the winter on such
Oh, you
projects.
can, but should you know, right? Okay. All right, that sounds good, yeah. Just as long as you can keep us updated, if there's any variance, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Sampe. Any other discussion from the council? I did have a question. Director Campbell, can you just describe a little bit about the scale and scope of the work that they'll be doing on the ditches and culverts?
Yes, I'm happy to. So as you can all imagine, the culverts that run through the Norwayne subdivision are extensive and long. And so what we did was community development staff went out after very heavy rain to identify the culverts that have the most intense flooding issues. And the work will be to repair those culverts initially, using repair methods, cleaning them out. If there are any pipes that we find are broken, the pipes will be repaired or replaced. And we're using this as an initial attempt to see if this is successful in repairing culverts rather than trying to do a whole, well, honestly, the city at this time would not be able to afford to repair all of the culverts. So this is our first attempt at addressing the issue in a less expensive, more effective way. And we will know after we complete this project whether or not we can move forward to other culvert areas that have less impactful flooding.
Thank you. And then just one last question. I know you mentioned that this is kind of be the kind of test pilot for this. What kind of like monitoring and tracking are we going to be doing, moving forward to making sure they don't become overgrown and we're running into this problem, 6, 8, 10 years from now?
At this time, I believe the Community Development Department will work very closely with the DPS Department to be looking at the culverts and their upkeep, and also working with the residents of the Norwayne subdivision.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, and thank you too, Director Elder. We appreciate it. Any other discussion? Yes, Councilwoman Murkowski.
Thank you, Council President. Through the chair to Director Campbell, can you give us, perhaps yourself or the DPS director maybe, could you give us an idea of what, because you had made mention that we couldn't afford to do the whole overhaul. Could you give us an idea of what that whole overhaul would have looked like?
It would be millions of dollars.
Millions? Thank you.
Millions and millions.
Millions of millions, okay. Millions upon millions of dollars, okay. Thank you.
All set, Councilwoman? Okay. Any other discussion? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
New business, item number 3, confirmation of appointment of Brandon Grisco of Fasone and Grisco PLC to the position of legal director.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Murkowski. Is there support? Supported by Councilwoman Baumann. Is there anything that the mayor's office would like to add before we? Okay. Is there any discussion from the maker? Okay. Any discussion from the supporter? Any other discussion from the council? I will just say that our city attorney's office has done a great job for us. Over a number of years, we've been partnered with Fasone Bone and now Fasone Grisco, and it's been a seamless transition throughout the changes that they made at their attorney's office, and we have not had a loss in service, and in fact, Brandon's expertise on a number of issues has been very much appreciated by the city council, and I think by the administration as well. Mayor, did you want to add something real quick?
Thank you, Council President. Just want to welcome, Brandon Grisco has been working for us for a long time, but with the retirement of Jim Fasone, we'll be seeing him here at our meetings more often. So I just want to congratulate him and wish Jim a happy retirement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Any other discussion from the council? Any dissent? Any dissent? Seeing and hearing none, motion passes. Congratulations. Thank you.
New business, item number 4, confirmation of reappointment of Mohammed Ayub as planning and building director.
So moved. Support.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Rakowski, supported by Pro Tem Sampe. Mayor, did you have anything you wanted to add before we turn it over to the council?
Just thank you for all the great work for the city for years now, and look forward to continuing to work with you, Mo. Thank you.
And any discussion from the maker? And it looks like our supporter has some discussion. Councilwoman Sampe.
I just want to thank Mo for just being extremely professional, very approachable. I have gotten a lot of positive feedback from residents. So those that are new here in the audience, because I see there's quite a few of them, Mo being our building and planning director, if you're looking for zoning issues, variance at your house, Mo is your contact, and he's been very approachable. So I want to thank you, Mo, just for your professionalism and just working really hard for the residents.
Thank you, Council. Councilman Sullivan, did you have something? It says your light's on here, so must have just popped on. Any other discussion from the council? Any other discussion? I just want to add, too, that Director Ayub has been, as Councilwoman Sampe said, very professional. He has, if you're not aware, there's a lot of work that goes on in his department, and he has really transformed our building and planning department into the 21st century, both with the customer service that we provide our residents and our businesses, all of you, but with a lot of unseen stuff, digitizing a lot of the processes and procedures that go on in the planning department, and a whole ordinance rewrite that he was instrumental in spearheading, him and the Planning Commission as well. So I want to thank our planning commissioners, but most of all, the person who leads up our Building and Planning Department, Director Ayub. I will be in full support of your renomination. Any other discussion? Oh, any dissent? Any dissent? Seeing and hearing none, motion passes.
New business item number 5, confirmation of reappointment of Kyle Mulligan as a Parks and Recreation Director.
Support.
Motion by Councilwoman Baumann and supported by Councilwoman Martin. Okay, I heard 2 supports, so I'm going to go with that. Mayor, did you have?
Thank you. Thank you, Council President. Just want to congratulate Kyle Mulligan. Thank you, one of our most hardworking staff members. Appreciate all the hard work over the years and look forward to continuing to work with you and keep getting our parks improved and better and better for our residents. So thank you, Kyle.
Discussion from the maker.
Sure, I do want to say thank you that just even the last couple of years, compared to some things that were going on before I got on council, but in the last 2 years for sure, the amount of activities that we have been seeing through Director Mulligan's department, family activities and all that, and there's just, it's been really neat to see all the stuff that's going on. And I know that we're going to be having even more with the new park coming in, so it's increasing. So I just want to thank Director Mulligan, and yes, I'm in support of it.
Thank you. Anything from the supporter?
No.
Okay.
No, thank you.
All right. Any other discussion from the council? Yes, Councilwoman Sampe.
I just wanted to be fair. So thank you, Kyle, so much. Kyle allows me to call him from home after hours. I inundate him with ideas of what we should be doing, what we could be doing. So thank you, Kyle, for working hard, and we appreciate your commitment for making good things happen in the city and new things happen in the city.
Thank you, Councilwoman Sampe. Any other discussion from the council? I will say, even though he's a fan of the wrong football team, we're still happy to approve him. You know, if there is a city event, whether it's Blues, Brews, and Barbecue, the movie events, the DDA concerts, the bowling nights, I mean, time and again, Kyle shows up at every city event. And these are often on nights and weekends when he could easily go home, and I'm sure on some days would like to go home and relax. But we appreciate his tireless effort. Director Mulligan shows up at anything and everything, and he's brought along with our Assistant Parks and Recreation Director, Jackie Smith, a lot of new ideas and programming. And as my colleagues mentioned, with the new park coming online, we're going to have a lot more programming ideas that are going to come out of our Parks and Recreation Department and from Director Mulligan and his team. So thank you, Director Mulligan, for all you do. Is there any dissent? Any dissent? Seeing and hearing none, motion passes.
New business, item number 6, confirmation of reappointment of Plant Moran and Associates as city auditor to provide auditing and financial consulting services for the city.
There is a motion by Councilman Rakowski. There is support by Councilman Sullivan. Mayor, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Just thank you, Plant Moran. You've been very professional and thorough, and we appreciate all the great work on behalf of the city. Thank you.
And is there anything from the maker?
Thank you, Council President. I've had the pleasure of working with Plant Moran for my entire tenure on council, and they're always available for any kind of questions we might have. They conduct a thorough and complete audit, which gives us all a lot of security, and their professionalism is second to none. So I appreciate all of your hard work and dedication to the city, and I look forward to continuing working with you into the future.
Councilwoman, is there anything from the supporter? No, thank you. Okay. Any other discussion from the council? Yes, Councilwoman Baumann.
I was just going to add, one of the things just for residents to know is that Plant Moran has been very available to any questions we have when it comes to the finance. I mean, we have our core team inside our city and administration, but when it comes to the auditing and other than that, they've been very willing to meet with any of us, and that's just a huge benefit to have. So I'm in support because I just want people to know that we as council members have the support from them whenever we need it, and it's really appreciated.
Thank you. Any other discussion from the council? I too will just echo the sentiment. so there's a large team at Plant Moran, right? And when it is audit season here in Westland, you will see 4, 5, 6 auditors in the back room, walking around City Hall, going over and crunching the numbers. But really, the face of who you as residents see and that we often interact with here at City Council is Alicia Watkins and Keith Zemansky. And Alicia and Keith are the utmost professionals, and we really appreciate their tireless work, and as my colleague said, their openness to always take council questions, questions from the administration, and get us a prompt answer and response. So thank you, and I will be happy to support your renewal. Any other discussion? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
New business item number 7, confirmation of reappointment of Chris Gladys to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council.
Is there a motion? Motion by Councilman Sullivan, supported by Councilman Murkowski. Mayor, I know you wanted to kind of run through all these.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. We have multiple appointments to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council, so I just want to kind of all at once here thank everybody for stepping up to serve. Chris Gladys, Derek Bergheis, Cassandra Myers, Sharon Sullivan, Juanita Francis, Amber Gilbert, David Wyachek, and I think that's everybody, but I just want to thank everybody for continuing to serve. I could shout out many of these people individually because they're all really strong advocates for our community. They're people who, time and time again, been willing to offer their time and their energy to improve our city. Dave, in particular, you've been around a while. I don't think anybody can catch up with you. Dave is our magistrate over at the district court as well, but he started off, I believe, in the Parks Department, back in the
1978, I was the second director of the Department on Aging.
Yeah, second director of Department on Aging, 1978. But thank you to everybody for continuing to serve the city, and thank you, City Council, for your support of these appointments.
Absolutely. Is there any discussion from the maker?
No.
Any discussion from the supporter? No. And I believe you had discussion, Councilwoman?
No, I thought that was someone was missed when the mayor recognized them, but it's okay.
Okay. Is there any other discussion from the council with regards to Mr. Gladys? Any other discussion? I will just say thank you, Chris, for stepping up and serving. We very much appreciate you and your service on the Parks and Rec Advisory Council. It's a very important commission, and especially now with the new park coming online and getting new ideas, new programming over at our Nankin Square Park is going to be critically important, and our members of our Parks and Rec Advisory Commission are going to be crucial to that. Is there any dissent? Any dissent? And is Chris in the audience? He's not. Okay. Well, thank you, Chris, for stepping up and serving. And if there's no dissent, motion passes.
New business item number 8, confirmation of reappointment of Derek Bergheis to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council.
Move approval.
There is a motion by Councilman Sullivan and supported by Councilman Murkowski. Are there any discussion from the maker?
No.
Anything from the supporter? Any other discussion from the council? I will just say, I've known Derek in his capacity on a lot of different, several different boards and commissions, including this one on our Parks and Rec Advisory Commission. Derek has been a tremendous asset for bringing new ideas to the table. He is truly an encyclopedia of new ideas. So he's worked in the hospitality industry for a number of years, so he's, I think, experienced it all and has seen it all, so he can be a real asset, too, to tell you, like, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what we can change to really improve the customer experience of Parks and Recreation and ensure that our residents and our families are having a great time at all of our events. So I always appreciate Derek's new ideas. Any other discussion from the council? Any dissent? Any dissent? Seeing and hearing none, motion passes. Derek, please stand and be recognized.
New business item number 9, confirmation of reappointment of Cassandra Myers to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council.
So moved.
This motion by Councilwoman Murkowski. Is there support? Support. Supported by Councilman Sullivan. Is there any discussion from the maker? Nothing. Any discussion from the supporter? No. Any other discussion from the council? I will just say, same thing, Ms. Myers, thank you for stepping up to serve on our Parks and Rec Advisory Council again. You will be a valued asset here on the Parks and Rec Advisory Commission, especially as we move forward with the new park that we're programming and all the exciting things the department is going to do in the future. And is Cassandra present in the audience? No, okay. And is there any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
New business, item number 10, confirmation of reappointment of Sharon Sullivan to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council.
There is a motion by Councilwoman Rakowski, support by Councilwoman Sampe. Is there any discussion from the maker? Any discussion from the supporter? Any other discussion from the council? Yes, Councilman Sullivan.
I'm going to need to abstain from this one.
Yes, we'll do a roll call on that. Yeah, we will.
Not that I don't support her, but
You're going to hear about it later on tonight, possibly. Is there any other discussion from the council? Did you have, I thought you had your hand. Sharon, thank you for stepping up and serving. Again, you've been another wealth of new ideas, especially as a teacher in our Wayne Westland schools. I'm sure you come to the table with a lot of tried that, done that, didn't work, this worked kind of things. So, one of the big things that our Parks and Rec Advisory Commission is focused on is programming for kids and families. And, Sharon's knowledge as a school teacher is greatly valued, and we certainly appreciate her continued service on the Parks and Rec Advisory Commission. Is there any dissent? Any dissent? Seeing and hearing none, motion passes. Please stand if you can.
New business, item 11, confirmation of reappointment of Juanita Francis Obi to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council.
Is there a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Rakowski, support from Councilwoman Sampe. Is there any discussion from the maker? No, thank you. Any discussion from the supporter? Any other discussion from the council? Juanita is another person, when there's a city event, chances are you will see Ms. Francis Obi at a city event. She is here, she is there, she is everywhere from our winter events to Blues, Brews, and Barbecue, and she will make it a point at every single event to always come up and greet you with a warm smile and a big hug. So we appreciate all of the tireless work that Juanita does for our Parks and Rec Advisory Commission, and similar to our other commissioners, all the great new ideas and innovation that she brings to that. We're very supportive of that as well, and I do not see her in the audience, but is there any dissent? Any dissent? Okay, seeing and hearing none, motion passes.
Confirmation of reappointment of Amber Gilbert to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Baumann, supported by Councilwoman Rakowski. Is there any discussion from the maker? Any discussion from the supporter? Any other discussion from the council? Well, I will just add that, like all of them, Amber is a tireless advocate in our community. Those of you who have had the chance to visit the Westland Mall will know that Amber runs the Dance Academy over there as well. So she has helped kids in our community for a long time, giving them activities and great things to do, and has brought her expertise in event planning and putting shows on to the Parks and Rec Advisory Commission. We are certainly appreciative of all her tireless work here in the community, and thankful that she is a business owner in our community as well. Is there any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes. Please stand and be recognized.
New business, item 13, confirmation of appointment of David Wysick to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council.
Motion by Councilwoman Rakowski, supported by Councilwoman Sampe. Is there any discussion from the maker? And any discussion from the supporter? And yes, Councilwoman Martin.
That he can run a Zamboni. Is that true? I support you.
And is there any other discussion from the council? Any other discussion? Well, as has been said, Mr. Wysick, we really appreciate your long-standing service in the community. The mayor mentioned your resume, so I won't, go over that again. But thank you for stepping up again and continuing to serve our community. We certainly appreciate it. You've served in a number of capacities over the years for the Westland community, and all of us and our residents, I know, are certainly grateful for the work that you've done. So thank you very much. Is there any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes. Please stand and be recognized.
New business, item number 14, approval of appointed officials, mayor's office and city clerk's pay plan for a period of January 1st, 2026 through December 2027.
So moved.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Rakowski, supported by Councilman Sullivan. Mayor, did you have anything you wanted to add before we? Okay. Councilwoman Rakowski.
Thank you, Council President. Upon reviewing the pay plan and seeing the planned quarter 2 review that's happening in the following meeting, I'm not prepared to approve a multi-year compensation commitment without having reviewed the Q2 financials. This isn't a reflection on staff or the plan itself, but it's about sequencing and fiscal responsibility. So without having held that Q2 budget amendment study session, or having the study session that was requested for this pay plan, I'm going to move that the vote for this pay plan is postponed until the following meeting after a study session and the Q2 study session and approval is passed.
There is a motion to postpone item 14 until a study session is had, and you said the Q2 amendments were passed?
Passed.
Okay, and the Q2 amendments were passed. Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Motion by Councilwoman Rakowski, supported by Councilwoman Sampe. Now, this discussion is on the motion only. Is there any discussion from the council? Any discussion from the council? Is there any dissent? There is dissent. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Baumann.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
No.
Pro Tem Maxwell.
No.
Councilwoman Rakowski.
Yes.
Councilman Sullivan.
No.
Councilwoman Sampe.
Yes.
President McDermott.
No.
Motion fails.
Back to the original motion. Is there any discussion? Are you late? Pop on.
I didn't pop it on.
Okay.
I think it's.
Is there any discussion from the council? Yes, Councilwoman Sampe.
On the motion?
Yes,
or-
on the, yep.
Oh, on the original
Yes.
motion? Okay. Can I ask for some clarifying questions?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. So we had asked for a study session. The study session basically was to get information. The Q2 budget was not presented to us. So in order for us to approve a budget, an increase in pay for 25 people, we need to know exactly, Business 101, what our budget is. So I don't want to do this on the dais, but unfortunately, the council president asked the deputy mayor for a study session. He said, no, we don't want to do it. So I'm trying to understand, just to get clarifying questions, to even make sure that we can pay for these increases. So with that being said, through the chair to, I guess it would be finance, based on what we're seeing, every director is getting a 5% increase in July. This is actually an additional increase. So with that being said, are you able to provide us, or do we need to have a recess? Because I would like just the numbers, just to make sure that we have the money to do this. The 2025, or 2024, 2025 costs, what is that number? And then what is the number for this budget, to make sure that if we're going to pass this evening, we have enough to fund it?
Through the chair, I can answer that. So the cost to general fund is $80,000. So as council's aware, when we prepare the budget every year to give council on April 1st, there are contracts that expire during the year. And in order to account for that, there are estimates that are put in the budget because we cannot budget for no increase. So there are some built-in increases. Similar to the UAW contract that council passed, I think they passed in December. It was the same kind of thing. there's 21 supervisors, right around there. So when their contract expired on December 31st, we knew on January 1st that there would be some type of raise. So we do build in increases in the contracts that are expiring. Now, the other contracts that are approved, we know the cost of those, so those are already baked in the budget. But all the years I've been here, we always estimate increases. So we knew on December 31st that the pay plan expired, so there are increases built in the pay plan. You know, we don't always get it exactly right. We don't know. I mean, we did the budget last March, so, but there are increases that are built in the budget. So for the remainder of this fiscal year, the cost would be $80,000, and a majority of those have been built into the budget already. So I think that answers your question. At least I hope it does.
Kind of, but not really. So it looks like there's several people jumping up in pay grade. At the highest pay grade, we have the executive assistant to the mayor at $145,000, DPS director, finance, budget, fire, police, building, planning. Who jumped up in that? I'm not sure who jumped up in that pay grade. And then we also had the pay grade 1 at $138, the deputy fire chief at $128, and then pay grade 2 is $131 with quite a few people, $118 pay grade 3, and then 3A 95, pay grade 480, and pay grade 572. So I know that we have an outstanding, I guess, negotiation right now with the fire department. My concern is that we have not necessarily agreed on it. So in your professional opinion, are we going to be able to make sure that we take, and hopefully this has been going on for 8 months, so hopefully we're about to commence and sign the agreement. Are we able to fund that and also fund these increases and level jumps and new positions?
So through the chair, similar to the UAW and the directors, obviously the fire contract's under negotiation, so I can't say too much about it, but
Right.
their contract expired July 1st. So July 1st, when we did the budget back in March, there were increases built into that as well. So by council approving or not approving the pay plan, that doesn't have anything to do with the fire negotiations. Those are separate negotiations. And yeah, those have been going on for a while now, but there are increases built into their contract as well. But the mayor's pay plan won't affect what happens there.
So the budget in terms of the mayor's pay plan, which I'm confused because you said is only $80,000, but we have a new position that was added in the grants and philanthropy, which I told the mayor this, or maybe council president, I'm not excited about a philanthropy position for a nonprofit that is a municipality. It should just be a grant writer, a grant position. And I support that, and I told the mayor that. I said, I support, if it helps us get grants, if it opens up the door, I support that position. My concern, though, is that we are having a philanthropy title on it, which, I'll talk about in a second, but just that position alone, you're saying that the budget is an $80,000 difference for the pay plan. So if the position is more than $80,000 and people are going up multiple levels, is it sustainable? Can we sustain it?
So through the chair, maybe some clarification. The grant writer is not part of the $80,000 because the only thing council would be doing tonight for the grant writer is putting that position in the pay plan. Council will still have to fund that position, and that will be done at the second quarter budget amendment. So tonight you would be approving that position in the pay plan, but you're not approving the funding for that position because, as council remembers back on July 1st when the budget was passed, there wasn't a grant writer in there. So council has to make those funds available, and we'll propose that during the next council meeting. So like I said, that 80,000 does not include the grant writer position. And maybe just to clarify, there was, I think, 3 positions that moved up a level. I think there was a 2 moving up to a 1A, and that's only at 95%. And there was a 1A moving up to a 1, and there was a 1A also moving up to a 1. So yeah, those costs, although they're moving up, half the budget year is already over, so those costs will only be for the remaining 6 months of this current fiscal year. So.
Okay. I guess my question was slightly answered. So in 2024 to 2025, there was an $80,000 difference to 2026 to 2027? Is that what you're saying?
Through the chair, no, what I'm saying is the current budget, which is 25-26, will see an increase of 80,000 for the remainder of this fiscal year.
Okay,
The
but we don't
remaining
know.
6 months.
But we're not sure, because we haven't had our budget study session for the amendments, if we'll be able to afford these changes. Is that,
So through the chair, like I said, when the council passed the budget, there were increases factored into all the contracts that were up this year. So yes, we will be able to afford it. And the cost of the increases is 80,000 for the remaining 6 months, but there have been increases factored in. So the actual, I guess the actual effect on the budget will be a lot less than 80,000 going forward. And like I said, the grant writer, that will be a separate budget amendment coming during the next council meeting, or the next study session, I should say.
I know my colleague wants to go, so I can
Councilwoman
let her
Rogers.
speak.
We're waiting patiently.
Appreciate it, thank you. Through the chair to the finance department, then what is the effect on the yet passed 26-27 fiscal year and the 27-28 fiscal year for this 2-year plan? What will be the total amount expended on the pay plan in those upcoming years? And with that, because there are 27 CBA for LSA and POAM, in which the pay plan is tie-barred through the LOCC, and we don't know what those percentages are going to be in those CBAs, what would that expenditure look like, and what do you propose would be the increase in those CBAs that would ultimately affect the pay plan and electeds as well?
So as council's aware, there is the 5-year forecast that is updated on a continual basis. So the effect of those out years will be factored into the 5-year plan. So if there's a contract that comes up, like you said, all those increases will be factored in to the 5-year plan. So when council gets the budget this year, everything will be updated accordingly. So
Okay, but what's the dollar figure?
what's the dollar figure for
The pay plan?
the remainder of this fiscal year,
No,
right?
no, for the compensation of the totality of the pay plan.
Well, I'd have to get that together, but we know what it is going to be for the remainder of this fiscal year.
Right,
It's
$80,000.
So
But
I don't know.
that's not
Yeah,
even the
that-
amount of one person's salary. So for the 2 years of the pay plan, what is the total expenditure for the pay plan?
So rough figures, if you take the 80,000 times it by 2, which is a year's figure, it's 160,000.
It's 160,000 when the grade 1 is $143,000 as an individual?
Oh, the total, we'd have to look at that. We don't have that with us tonight, so, I mean, I don't know what that would be. You know what that would be, Dan?
Total addition.
The total budget.
The entire director's.
Yeah. we'd have to take a look at that.
And this is why I had requested a study session, so that all of those questions could be answered. So that we weren't doing this up here, and that you could be prepared for those questions. But when the council president relayed back to the council members who had requested a study session with that the administration doesn't have the appetite, and then also included that would be a break from precedent. First of all, that's categorically incorrect because we have had study sessions for pay plans. This isn't an attack on the plan in and of itself. It's not an attack on any individuals and their talents. But it is about sequencing, having the information in front, reviewing your mid-year financials, making sure we're on track. We just had an expense of $1.9 million for radios for the police and fire departments. We have a CBA that's outstanding for the fire department. 2027 POAM and LSA comes up. There's a lot of other negotiations that need to take place. And when part of the letter talks to the fact that we need to remain competitive, which I would agree with, that same sentiment isn't extended to our other bargaining units who are basically told, if you think the grass is greener, then go. So my whole thing is if we don't have the money to retain the police and fire, then we can't say that we have the money to retain those inside City Hall. I'm not saying that that's the case because I don't have those figures. I would love to have those figures so that I can righteously make a decision without putting the cart in front of the horse. And when that meeting has already been scheduled to happen in 2 weeks, we should have the opportunity to get all of those figures, review them, be able to have a common sense conversation about bringing in a grant writer, how that would in fact impact the budget, and then pass the pay plan. In addition to the fact that the pay plan is usually passed in December and is part of the Q2 amendments. So I'm not being, uppity for the sake of being uppity. I'm thinking that there's a sequencing issue here, and we should be reviewing financials before we just make a 2-year commitment to a new, not necessarily a contract, because they're not contract employees. They work here at the will of the mayor. Some of the language in the letter talked about other unions. They're not unions. And, let's make sure that it makes financial sense, because there aren't very many people in the city of Westland getting a $14,000 raise this year. So before we do that, let's make sure that the taxpayers understand where we stand financially, and especially after we just made a $600,000 addition to our fund balance, are we turning around and spending that in one fell swoop here, re-upping pay plans, or, where's the money going to come from if we're going into rainy day? I don't have that appetite. If we're going into general fund, what's not being funded? And that's really what I wanted answered. And I'm disappointed, perhaps not surprised, but I'm disappointed that the administration wouldn't have allowed for that study session to happen so that this vote could happen without any kind of ill feelings.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Mayor, did you?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I know there's been a little bit of discussion, a little bit of back and forth, and some good questions. I wanted to take a moment and put a little context around the pay plan. So the mayor's appointed officials' pay plan comes every 2 years. I know previously interim Mayor Londo passed one, I think with the support of some of the people here. There were raises, I'm going to finish my comments. There were some raises baked into that vote, which is tied to unions. The way that the local officials compensation commission structured this, the appointed officials, the officials that I appoint to run the departments, their raises are tie-barred to the deputy fire chief's raises. So that's something that was done prior to me becoming mayor over 2 years ago. I know some of the members of the council that were here then supported it at that time. So some of the raises some of the raises that, thank you. Some of the raises that were referenced tonight. Thank you, guys.
It's the police chief, Mayor.
Yeah, I'd like to finish my comments.
One person at a time.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Go ahead.
So some of the raises that were referenced tonight were part of that arrangement going back a couple years ago. And then to add a little more context to this, in our current budget, 2025-26, we've added $600,000 to our rainy day fund, which is the largest addition to the rainy day fund in over a decade. Our city's on really good financial footing, so good that we proposed lowering our millage rate in the last budget. We lowered our sanitation millage by $0.25 mil, which hadn't been done, I think, ever or in a very long time to roll back the tax rate. The biggest changes that we're proposing tonight, and I think the reason we were confident enough to have this stay on the agenda, there's two really substantial changes that I want to share with the community. One is our deputy mayor was a couple tiers lower than the staff that he supervises. Now, I don't know why that was structured that way, but when you hear of a wage increase, that's the biggest one, because he's here every day overtime, he's here on weekends, and he manages our staff day to day. And all of our directors report to him under me and report to me as well. So for him to be lower than them on a pay grade didn't really make any sense. So when I looked at that, I said, we got to bump him up to a reasonable level. The other big change that we're proposing tonight is adding a director of grants. Now, this position will pay for itself probably by over $1 million in the first year, if I could guess. I actually received a call from our U.S. Senator today, Gary Peters' office. We received another grant today for $100,000. Now, a lot of the grant money I try to pursue on my own, but to have somebody in-house to assist us with writing grants, to work with every director and department head, to write grants and seek out this money. Other cities around us are doing it, and they're doing a good job of it. We've done a good job of it, but we need the help on a day-to-day basis, on a full-time basis. And then I'll just make the comment, I know there was some talk of a study session. I had asked the council president this morning what the questions were. I didn't receive any questions directly, so I know there were questions, and here we are, and we're happy to get everybody any information as always. But I do appreciate the council's support of this pay plan, because it is a positive step and a fiscally responsible step for our city. So I do want to thank the council for supporting it. Appreciate it.
Just put on you.
Is there any discussion? Yes, Councilman Sullivan? Oh, your light popped on again.
Push my button, but sure, I've got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just for the administration, I just want to clarify that conversations I had with staff indicated that this is budgeted for. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
All right, so the budget that was passed last year had enough in it to cover these raises?
Through the chair, there were estimates that were put in, but yes, to answer your question, there was enough put in. And obviously there's general fund money, there's highway maintenance money, because different directors work in different departments. There's also water and sewer money, but they were all budgeted in the appropriate funds, so.
All right, and the raises, if I had this right, it's 1.8%? Is that accurate?
Chair, that is correct.
All right, so for over a 2-year period, we're getting 1.8% increases to the appointees?
So the appointed pay plan is also tied to the police contract as well. Is that right, Dan? Yeah, so whatever they have coming up in July will also go to the directors as well.
Right, so whatever's being negotiated with the fire union is going to result in changes as well. But this proposal is for a 1.8% increase. Is that accurate?
Through the chair, that is correct.
All right, and you said that amounts to $80,000 to cover the rest of the year?
Yes.
And it would be $160,000 for the full fiscal year following that?
Through the chair, estimated.
All right, and do you believe that the finances in the city are enough to be able to cover that?
Through the chair, yes, we are not proposing to use any fund balance to pay for any of this.
That was all I had, thank you.
Just real quickly, because I wanted to build off a question he just asked. When you say not proposing to use any fund balance, are you talking about only for this fiscal year? Or are you talking about moving forward every year thereafter? Because it's one thing that we already baked it into the cake for this fiscal year budget, but if we get into the 26-27 year budget, 27-28 year budgets, and our long-term projection, are you feeling confident that we will not be projecting long-term to use this, to utilize fund balance to cover these costs?
So through the chair, that's correct, but just remember, there's other contracts also that will expire, and we'll negotiate those contracts, and there'll be increases in those. But they'll all be accounted for in the 5-year plan that council will see. So, like they do every year.
And you don't see this having a downstream negative effect on other contracts that will come up in the future?
Through the chair,
Financially.
it's obviously hard to tell the future, but no, I don't see that.
Okay. Did you have another question? I saw your light on still.
You said $80,000, so is $80,000 coming out of the fund balance or general fund? Because I heard, maybe I thought I heard two things. Where is the money coming from, Steve?
Right, through the chair, the cost to the general fund is estimated at $80,000. There's nothing proposed to be coming out of fund balance, which is general fund
Okay,
balance.
yeah.
Nothing.
So the $80,000 is going to be coming out of fund balance for both years. So the 160, if you do the 2-year plan, 160 would be taken from the general fund to make sure that we're staying balanced. Is that correct?
So through the chair, the cost to general fund, the expenditure cost, the salary cost is $80,000. But there's nothing proposed to come out of the undesignated fund balance, if you will.
Okay.
So, the increases are already accounted for in the budget.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm just disappointed. We received this on December 29th. I had hoped that we'd have a chance to talk with people, talk through our questions. I didn't want to do this here on the dais. I didn't want to be able to debate about things. I really wanted it to be transparent, which is why I discussed a study session, and a few of my colleagues supported it. The budget is our most important job, so it was super disappointing that it was just thrown in our lap like, hey, why don't you approve these increases? So given that it was done over the holidays, and given that there are increases and adjustments, I reached out to the mayor today, didn't get a chance to talk with him. I reached out to council president. My concern is that you're going to come back and we're going to have to make cuts or adjustments. So I really hope that don't happen. I really hope that you don't come back and now we have to, cut programming or cut staff. The contracts that are in negotiation for both unions, that's really important. We don't want to lose any police and fire. There's a few people that spoke today, and they spoke about, making sure that there's monitoring. I don't want to take anyone off the street. I do not want this to be affected. I just don't, and I'm concerned, not that these individuals on the pay plan, let's just take the names out of them. I think everyone obviously works very hard and deserves raises. I just want to make sure we can afford it. I want to make sure that there's no cuts, there's no budget cuts, if grants fall through, it's a very uncertain economic time right now. We don't know what's going to happen with some of our grants. We have police and fire on grants, and, it's very uncertain what's going to happen in, the federal government, which trickles down locally. So, Mayor, is there something? No? Okay. So I just want to make sure that we're okay. That's the biggest thing, is making sure that police and fire are okay, making sure that there's no additional cuts to our budget, and that's all that I'll, say at this point is, I was hoping that we can walk through a study session, make sure that the budget was there, and making sure that there's no additional cuts.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Baumann.
No, you first, go ahead, say what you have to say.
Councilwoman Martin.
For the question?
Oh. I have a question, okay.
There's a call to question. We have to debate the call to question first.
We can't debate it, it's just a roll call.
That's true. Roll call.
Councilwoman Baumann.
No.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Pro Tem Maxwell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rakowski.
No.
Councilman Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilwoman Samby.
No.
President McDermott.
No.
Motion fails.
Councilwoman Baumann, I know you had a question.
I did. I did have I did ask a lot of questions when I met with I met with a couple people and I did ask questions, but through this conversation, this is one of the reasons why I supported a study session, is because sometimes when someone else asks a question, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't get that clarified, and I still have that question. So my questions actually were not, I did not realize I did not ask, but I do want to ask, based on some of the things I've heard through the chair, is I understand we have the monies for our existing people that we have and we want to move them to different areas, but I guess help me understand, and I know we talked about, you're talking about a second quarter or second something amendment, but for the grant director, for a brand-new position, that one actually throws me that how did we didn't talk about that at the budget time, so how are we funding that with, I mean, obviously from an amendment, but where's that coming from? And then along with that, I seem to remember that we had some grant software that we just recently acquired, and I guess I'm curious how the grant software that we've already invested in plays into all of this, and I'm not sure exactly where those questions get answered, but those are my questions.
Does one of the directors want to take that? Director Smith?
Yes, so through the chair, I just want to comment on Councilwoman Sampy's comments before. So just so everyone's aware that if the pay plan resulted in any kind of cuts to anything, the mayor would never even have brought this to council. So I just want to make that clear that there are no cuts going to result in this, if this pay plan passes. So I do want to make that clear. I don't know where that idea came from, but as far as the grant software goes, obviously, the grant coordinator will, I think was that grant software? Yeah, that was for police and fire, but if they're able to use that as well. And, with regards to the grant writer, I think what I've seen over the years is there's grants. I'll use the SAFER grant as an example. So the SAFER grants out there, the fire department knows how to apply for that. They're very successful in getting that. I think what the grant writer will do is expand that into other areas that maybe we're not familiar with and that we haven't had success in the past. So I think that's where the grant writer will really come in handy. And like the mayor said, they'll probably pay for themselves. And as far as the budget amendment goes for the second quarter, we may estimate revenues enough to pay for that grant writer. So the net cost will be zero in the budget. Now that will remain to be seen, obviously, for the years going forward, but that's the anticipation anyways. So I hope that answers your questions.
Councilwoman Baumann? Do you have anything further for right now? Councilwoman Samby?
Can I just ask a question in regards to the grant writer, since obviously this will be in the budget? With that being said, it's grants and philanthropy. It sounds like there's someone already that the administration wants to bring in. Is there any talk about possibly in this particular position, usually it's done on a retainer basis. similar to what we had before, they're paid on what they bring in. So they have a base salary for their work, and then they're paid on what they bring in. That way it allows us a guarantee whether we're bringing in X amount and then they're getting a certain amount of what they're bringing in. Typically with other companies, that's how they operate. Because my concern is if we don't have benchmarks for a grant writer and they don't bring in what we anticipated them to bring in, what's the plan for making sure that they're held accountable and that they're, you want to take it, Mayor?
That's not what we're considering.
Okay. So if they don't meet benchmarks, how are we handling it?
Like any appointed staff member, if they weren't performing at their job, they'd be terminated.
But what would that number be for them? So what are you, so let's just talk about this then. If they're supposed to bring in $5 million, this would be done in a study session, right? You guys know I ask questions.
We're not hiring anybody tonight. We're asking for you to approve a pay plan.
I understand, but that line item is in here.
This isn't a job interview.
Okay, one person at a time. Councilwoman Sampe, please continue.
Thank you. The line item is in here. The line item for a salary is in here, which means that this is a relevant question. So what I'm asking is that if the grant writer's paid X amount of dollars, over $100,000, and they're not bringing in what is expected, how do you benchmark it to make sure that they're paying for their job plus X amount? That's all I'm asking. I really don't need any type of attitude. I'm curious.
We can have that conversation separately about a specific hire and a specific staff member, but I don't think that's appropriate to this vote. So you're asking a hypothetical question on a hypothetical hire of a hypothetical position. Again, everything that we're proposing is funded in the budget. Also, my administration has brought in about $20 million in grant funds in 2 years. We want to continue that kind of progress for our residents, so that's why we're proposing it. So, what's the pay grade for the grant position?
3,
3, and what's the base salary?
118.
118. So I can tell you, if they weren't bringing in an average of 118 a year, they probably wouldn't stick around too long. So I think that's probably the question you're asking. So.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. No, it's not. No, what I was asking is at a 118, that's not how you average a grant writer. So in situations that I've been in, and it's germane to the topic because the line item in the pay plan is in here. So $118,000, usually it's times 5. So if they're not bringing in, a certain amount, I would assume at some point we have some guardrails to say that they're not necessarily a fit for our city. And we understand that grants at the federal level all the way down are not necessarily available like they were before.
Yeah.
And I'm not, please let me
One
finish.
second.
I'm not debating you, and you and I spoke, Mayor, and I told you flat out, I support this. I support this. I want that being taken off of the director's shoulder. But again, I have trepidation coming into it to make sure that we have benchmarks, because it is in the pay plan that this individual will have benchmarks that they're expected to bring in X, Y, and Z. So
They will. That's an administrative function, but I'd be happy to, hear your input on it. As a member of the City Council, I certainly respect your opinion, and I thank you for supporting it. I do think it is a positive step.
When we have the study session to discuss the Q2 budget amendments, of which this position, the grant writer's position, will be a part of, I think it would be helpful to have kind of an overview of what it is we're budgeting for, like what the specific roles and responsibilities. I mean, we all have a general idea of what, a grant writer does, and, but having an outline list of roles and responsibilities just so we know as a council what we're approving. I'm definitely in support of a grant writer. I know previously we had a contracted grant writer that we paid around $72,000 a year on a contract. This is, going to be bumping that up by, roughly when you factor in paying benefits about 40 grand. So, just having some outlined roles and responsibilities of what the type of specific position it is that we're approving. Same as when, council had previously approved other positions like a facilities director or anything in the past. Getting added onto the pay plan, having that kind of specificity would be, I think, greatly appreciated. To the finance team, my estimates in terms of where we're going to be should we add this grant writer position into the pay plan versus where it would be with the contractor position, around 30 to 40,000, correct? When you factor in pay and benefits from where we were to where we're going?
Yeah, so look, through the chair, so you had mentioned 72,000 for the previous contracted grant writer. I think the figure here was 100 and, it's in grade 3. It's yet to be determined if it's 100% a grade 3 but it'd be a grade 3. So yeah, there's probably 40 or 50,000 in addition to the original contracted position. But then we would get that person 100% of the time. And also we wouldn't be competing with other clients that they had that they're also writing grants for. So they would be solely for Westland only, so.
And when we do the Q2 budget amendments, will we know what percent of the grade they're going to be paid at? So we know what exactly in dollar amount we're budgeting for?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Samby, did you have anything else? Your light was still on. Is there any other discussion from the council? Any other discussion? Any dissent? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Baumann.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Pro Tem Maxwell. Excuse me. Councilwoman Rutkowski.
No.
Councilman Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilwoman Samby.
No.
President McDermott.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, we will now move on to public comment. Everyone speaking for the council should do so in a civil manner. Speakers should refrain from abusive or profane remarks, vulgar language, disruptive outbursts, threats, racial slurs, or other conduct that interferes with the orderly conduct of the business meeting. Personal attacks on council members, the administration, city staff, or other speakers, or members of the public do not promote civil discourse. Comment shall be directed to the chair and not to people in the audience. The chair shall call to order any person who is being disorderly by speaking when not having been recognized by the chair or is being disruptive to the proceedings. If any person, after being called to order, continues to be disorderly, creating a public 13 disturbance, the chair may order that person removed from the meeting immediately. Is there anyone on my left? Yes, Ms. Worm.
Christina Worm, Norrain Citizens Council, Norrain resident. Just wanted to say thank you so much to the support of city council members that we have now. You guys volunteer, donations, mayor, deputy mayor, thank you so much. We had a very successful holiday tree lighting event and you are greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. The kids love the fire truck delivery of Santa, so we're grateful for that. And we're also grateful to the police officers for always attending our events as well. I do want to make special mention that the community development block grant sessions are going to be coming up again. I'm going to ask all of the city council members to please earmark this, make a special note of this, with our sign getting repaired again, the total cost, inquire what it's cost to replace this sign and to fix this sign, what it would cost to get a non-destructive sign to be able to have in the neighborhood, and how much we give out from the community development block grant for services that we're not receiving to take care of these issues, to handle these issues. We pay the salary $70,000 for one police officer for community development block grant areas. We should know that officer. We should know someone. We should see somebody regularly. We don't. I don't. I literally live and work in my area, in my neighborhood. It's not a matter of I'm gone for 8, 9, 10 hours. I don't see anyone. I'm not around. I'm in and out of my neighborhood all day long, day and night, from the crack of dawn to, I don't see anybody. We don't see anything. But I can tell you exactly who's where, making what ruckus, causing what problems, the timestamp. I could give you all of that. Nobody's asking us. Nobody's coming to us. There was supposed to be a detective that was looking into the signage. Nobody's ever reached out to the council. Nobody's ever come out to us and asked, hey, Norwayne, what do you guys got? Let's meet with you. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. We want to work together. That's why we have community development groups. This is why we volunteer our times. We want to do better for Westland. We want to do better for our own neighborhoods. We're not trying to be a detriment. We're not trying to be a hardship. We want to work together. We want to make things better. And we want to make sure that these funds that are supposed to be going to community development block grant areas are being utilized fully. If the funds are going to it, we should be receiving the services. And this is what I implore from you. Please make note of this. Please ask the questions. Please pay attention this year when we come back at you with the community development block grant information. Thank you so much. And Happy New Year.
Thank you, Ms. Worm. Happy New Year. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, my name is Afaf Ahmad. I own a property on Judith Street. I noticed that there's no salt on my street at all, and sometimes it turns to icy, and I had to allow my car to drive itself to my house. So I noted I am on the crossroad of Cherry Hill and South Carlson Street. It's all salted inside, but when I want to get inside my street, it's completely no salt at all. So I left the town this weekend for a couple days. It was full of snow. I came back yesterday, full of snow. Today we had some sun, and it melted. So this is a serious matter. I don't know why we don't have no salt, and I'm paying almost $6,000 for my property. I moved 2 years ago to Westland from Dearborn. I lived there for over 20 years. I love the city. You guys are doing a great job, and you guys cleaned the snow right away, the major streets. And I do take videos and show it to my audience on my station. But again, we have major issues inside the street, and I did notice many streets inside are not salted. That's number one. Number two, you guys need to find a solution for the property taxes. It's increasing. I had a couple meetings with a couple real estate agents who come to my talk show on my radio, and they said people are avoiding to come to Westland due to property taxes. And it's true because I noticed the increase in my property taxes too. So we need to find a solution because we don't want people to move out from Westland. We need to bring more population to Westland. Number three, and mainly, is the Westland Mall. I don't have a background in finance. I have a background in journalism and in marketing. But in regards to Westland, it turned into a ghost town. I had to drive to Novi, to Troy, to do shopping. I used to shop in Felon Mall. It turned to a ghost town. Westland turned into a ghost town. You guys are offering, Westland City said we don't want to run the Westland, but we need to turn it into a city center district with housing, offices, and much more. Why? We don't have enough properties to rent for any newcomers, businesses, to have business in Westland. I'm noticing. I saw the whole Fort Road. I saw the whole Wayne Road. I've been watching. I've been going around alley as a business owner who have a jewelry store in Dearborn trying to move to Westland. I cannot find a decent property to rent. So why don't we turn that mall into affordable business where we can call in many business and many different ethnicities background and turn this a very good walk-in business instead of giving it like a ghost town that many popular brands are going out and it's become vacant. Why don't we have this property back to life? Because it's gonna bring a crowd as myself who go shop in Novi or shop in Troy. After I finish my shopping after a couple hours, I go and have dinner with my daughters.
Your time is up.
Thank you. So
Thank you,
why
ma'am.
don't we have this back to life?
Thank
and
you,
bring
ma'am. Your
business
time
to
is
them?
up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone on my left? Yes, Ms. Hines. Trustee Hines.
Congratulations all. I'll be really quick. So I work with Starfish Family Services as a family advocate, and I have 13 spaces open. And what we do is it's like a preschool program, Great Start Readiness program. We take kids from ages 3 to 4. It's totally free. We have the children meet Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So it's a really good program. So I have some flyers out there. I'm the president of the Wayne Westland Kiwanis Club. We actually have a meeting tomorrow at the Westland Library. library. We meet at the first and third Tuesdays at the library, and it's a program where we help kids read. We gave over like 150 free books to the children and the community, so I have a calendar there. The kids at John Glenn High School, our Key Club, they're actually having one of their first fundraisers. It's going to be over at the Red Robin. It's going to be January the 14th, 2026. So I'll leave some flyers out. If you guys go to the Red Robin, the money will go to the Key Club at the John Glenn High School. And one more thing, I'm a Wayne County Women's Commissioner, and they just had a program that came out called RX Kids, and it's an amazing program for women who are pregnant. Once they're pregnant, they give them $1,500, no strings attached, during the pregnancy, and then after they have the baby, they give them $500 a month, up to 6 to 12 months. Amazing program. Certain cities are limited, so I'll leave some flyers out there as well.
All set? All right, thank you, Melanie. Is there anyone on my right? Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Gary Kaufman, and I'm grateful. My heart overflows with gratefulness. Aside from the blessings of life and nature itself, what I am most grateful for is the blessing of living in a democracy with liberty and justice for all. Therefore, I give thanks to all military veterans, including my World War II hero dad. Thank you also to the Thin Blue Line. Thank you above all to the Founding Fathers, and happy 250th birthday, America. Now let me continue in my series of public comments, recognizing the heroes of Westland. If there's one thing for which I believe Westland is #1 in the world, the wonderfulness of our wait staff. Let me cite 3 Westland restaurants for their great hiring decisions. First, we've got Rocky's Family Dining on Wayne Road. Every time I dine there, I always seem to have the same thought at the end of the meal. Wow, I just got waited on by a perfect person. So Rocky, thank you. You've got a great little restaurant there. Next, thank yous go out to Joey, Ray, and Mrs. Washington. These 3 angels, in my opinion, manage the best restaurant in the world, the Golden Corral on Warren Avenue. There you will find the most impressive roster of wait staff to be found anywhere. These are the people of whom I am not worthy. Marcus, Marquette, Melody, Steve, Sheila, Shar, Harold, Julia, Nikki, Jody, Ari, Addison, Tetri, Toya, Tony, and lastly, Pocahontas. That's her real name, and she's my favorite. And I can't forget Trinity, the cashier. You're wonderful also. I'm totally serious when I say that I'm planning to nominate 2 or 3 of these people for Michiganians of the Year. And if at least one of them doesn't win, then I will know for sure. Like the Al Pacino character in the movie And Justice for All once said, something really wrong is going on around here. Now let's move on to Jet's Pizza on Wayne Road. You want to talk about an incredible guy? You want to talk about a true lion-hearted Christian man? You got to meet Matt Hensley at Jet's Pizza. Matt's a family man. He coaches youth sports. He does construction work. He does insulation work. He's involved with his church, and he's a pillar of the community. Over the years, Matt has become a friend of mine. Want to know why? Because when I was homeless, Matt made sure that I didn't go hungry. He's one of the best-looking guys in the city, but he's even more beautiful on the inside. So there's that. In 2 weeks, I'll return to talk about Westland's most noteworthy businessman, Bill Folkart, owner of Modern Classics on Newburgh Road, and in 4 weeks I plan to come back and talk about Westland's best church. That would be Merged Community, which holds its services at the east end of John Glenn High School at 10:30 on Sundays.
Your time is up. Thank you.
Good evening and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Is there anyone on my left? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Honorable Council President, and council members. Congratulations to you all for the newly seated members. If it pleases the City Council President, I'd like to offer up a prayer.
Short time.
Okay. All right, and we acknowledge that no leader is perfect. As citizens, we seek leadership characterized by integrity, justice, and genuine concern for the common good. Wisdom reminds us that when leadership is guided by righteousness and ethical responsibility, communities flourish. With that in mind, we lift up the mayor, the council president, each council member, the administration of the city of Westland, and all those who serve in roles that protect and care for our community. We ask for wisdom, humility, and unity for those entrusted with authority. Grant clarity in decision-making, patience in deliberation, and courage to do what is right even when it is difficult. Help us remember that we share more in common than what divides us, and that every person carries inherent dignity and worth. May truth, justice, and peace guide the work of this council in the years ahead. Grant wisdom and faithful stewardship in the management of public resources and open doors for responsible growth and opportunity that strengthen our city and benefits its people. We humble ourselves and seek healing where there is division, understanding where there is disagreement, and cooperation where there has been tension. May the city of Westland be known for respect, unity, and a shared commitment to the well-being of all. And this I pray in Jesus' name. I just want you all to know that the church that I belong to, we meet 5:30 every morning for prayer, 365 days of the year. And we lift up each and every person on this council and the mayor and the city, the fire, and the police chief by name. And we do that faithfully. We just trust that God's hand is upon everything that you guys set your hand to do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone on my right? Ray.
3 minutes go by fast when I was just watching that up there. It's really quick. I know I've done it already a couple times. But I wanted to say hello, everyone, and Happy New Year's. And Go Ray 2026, as I'm going to call myself now, just because I am on the go and I'm very busy. Right now, I want to recognize my friend Rob over there. He's a great guy and use the communication here in Westland. And Mary, he's going to be great. I had a meeting with him, and I'm definitely looking forward to working with him on a couple of things. And I have a meeting with the mayor, too. I'll be talking to him about it. And I'm also going to be called Gold Chair Ray this year, too, if we're going to work together, not this separately. When my group is going to be together, I want to talk to the mayor about that, too, because I need to be included on this conversation. I'm the one who's running that group with them, so I should know what's going on. And I do want to team with that director, Pasco. But, you know, we all got to work together. It's not separately like it was before. So that's something new this year that I'm going to be working on. I'm also on the DD Council, ready to roll up there next week in Lansing. And this button right here, I'm so proud of it. I am wearing it and advertising it and giving it away to some of the people who are the VIP. I brought 2 in here tonight that are going to get one. So anyway, I also want to say I drove into the police department, gave them Christmas cards, dropped them off, went to the fire department, dropped them off. I dropped them off here at the mall, at the City Hall here. So I've been very busy, and you know, it all takes time when time does fly. So, and I want to say to the chief, doing a good job, and I'm looking forward to training your 3 police officers. And the fire department, I'm ready for the training for this coming spring. So things are happening. And the park director, I saw them signs for the 988. I am big about that too, and I'm really probably going to be working on with the mayor and you on that. So anyway, even in Dearborn, I'm going to city council there this summer, see how they run their meetings over there. So the mayor tour. So I'm going to be doing some of that too. So I'm going to be a busy guy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. We appreciate you as always. Is there anyone on my, yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor, Council residents, Fire Chief. So actually, Mr. Kaufman, I do want to recognize that. I actually just had breakfast at Rocky's on Saturday, so I fully agree that the meal and the staff was excellent, so it's a great Westland business to support. I also do want to thank there was several, the fire that in Garden City, there was also the shooting that happened in Inkster and also at the Kroger in Westland. I very much would like to, sorry, I'm Jessica Toth, by the way. I'm a 20-year Westland resident. I would like to commend the Chief of Police and your staff who did an outstanding job with that situation. You kept the public updated. I monitor your Facebook, regularly. You very much concerned with the resident safety, and I do want to thank you for that. Also, your support and collaboration with other cities, in particular in Inkster. Also, again, the fire in Garden City that had city support, and thank you very much for supporting that, and again, keeping all of us and our residents safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone on my right? Anyone on my left? Mr. Warren.
Well, good evening again. And one of the things I wanted to talk about, since I'm a member of the North Wayne Citizens Council, who battled for the culverts. When this community was created, right during World War II, for workers to go to the Willow Run bomber plant, the engineers decided that they needed culverts because of the high water table there, which still exists. The homes only have a crawl space over the ground, and water goes somewhere when it evaporates. The culverts were to relieve that tension of the water and put it to the outside so it could go to the general air. Now, if that experiments fail, North Wayne's going to fail because those houses will rot from the inside. And there's nothing that you can be done when your floor joists are all rotted out and gone. So the neighborhood will be gone. So I think the engineers did a good thing when they built the culvert. So it's more than an experiment. But what has happened over the past long ago is that since North Wayne being a marginal community, such as Carver subdivision, it was neglected. Culverts should be maintained like anything, streets and everything else. It was just a lack of maintenance that puts it in this state of being. So that's why I supported that, and I will continue to support that. And as it was said, community development funds are coming up. I see that there's a struggle to give raises to executives, but yet when the community comes forward for a meager raise to educate the kids in the community, it's pretty much denied, and past councils have supported that. Okay? So I just want to point out to you that we will come again, as I'm the chairperson, that we will come before you again. You'll have to make that decision of either supporting the meager increases that we have, because the monies in the past have been going to the police department, and which the police chief said last year, the $104,000 was allocated to him. He didn't need it. I've been in your budget sessions. None of those entities came forward and said, we need these $100,000 for our programs. But yet the administration puts them into the program and then takes the money and just puts it in the general fund, and it doesn't come back to the community because that's the way they want it. But the federal government sends that money here based upon marginal communities. So you take that into consideration before you send the money into the general budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Is there anyone else in the audience? Yes, Ms. Wilson.
Lori Wilson, Westland. No, I'm not going to talk about the speed hump. I'm not going to talk about the lack of police officers down in the South End. We got the nice, new, beautiful street lamps on Middle Belt. When will we find out if we can get banners to hang from those beautiful streetlights? You know, like spring is here, Juneteenth, 4th of July, our veterans. When can we get something that recognizes our end of the city of Westland as the city of Westland, other than the sign that says, "Welcome to the city of Westland," in 2 places on Middle Belt in Annapolis, Henry Ruff and Van Born? When? That's all we want to know. Can we get something? Let us know, you know, we are part of y'all too.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Is there anyone else in the audience? Anyone else in the audience? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will close public comment and move on to comments from the administration. Mayor.
Thank you, City Council. Thank you, Council President. Is this mic on? There we go. Well, thank you, everybody. First of all, it's 2026, and I love Westland. I'm very proud of the work we've done over the last couple of years as a team here at our city, and I'm proud of the work that we're going to do going forward. I want to welcome Antoinette Martin, our brand-new city councilwoman tonight. Congratulations, Antoinette. Look forward to working with you. I know you've done a lot in the city in the past, and you'll do even more going forward, so best of luck. I want to congratulate Council President Mike McDermott on being reelected as Council President. Congratulations, Councilwoman President Pro Tem Maxwell on being elected President Pro Tem. I also want to congratulate Councilwoman Baumann on her reelection, starting a new term, and congratulations to Councilman Sullivan on starting a new term here. Congratulations to all the people that were appointed tonight. I know there's a long list. I won't go through it again, but thank you for all the people who are stepping up to serve our city going forward. Unfortunately, a little bit of sad news. I want to offer my condolences to the family of Ken Sharp. He's survived by his wife, Carol. Ken is somebody that served our city for decades. He started as a Westland firefighter, was a firefighter for 25 years. And then he was on the Westland Planning. He retired as battalion chief in 1992 and then served 27 years on the Westland Planning Commission. And he's a guy that really loved our city and had a really big heart for Westland. And he was on the Planning Commission so long that I felt like he would just be on the Planning Commission forever. That's how it felt, but he'll be very missed. I'd like to congratulate the reappointment, our directors that were reappointed tonight, Parks Director Mulligan, Planning Director Ayub, and our Legal Director Grisco. Couple announcements. Christmas trees are being picked up on the curb on your normal garbage day through January 16th. You can take your tree to the recycle center on Marquette Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. throughout the month of January. Please remove all decorations from the tree prior to putting it on the curb or dropping it off. I'd like to invite everyone to our annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day ceremony on Monday, January 19th at 9 a.m. at Burning Bush International Ministries, located at 30355 Annapolis Road in Westland. City offices will be closed in observance of the Martin Luther King holiday. Trash pickup will not be affected that day. I also want to shout out Joe Burton. I'm catching you off guard, but I was over at the Mike Madonna Ice Arena, and Joe's our director of MSB. He doesn't get a lot of shout outs, but he's here tonight at the council meeting. He manages our golf course and our ice arena, and I just wanted to tell you, Joe, how impressed I am at your work. I actually got out there on skates and did a little bit of open skate with some buddies over the weekend and managed not to fall down, so I had a good time. But I want to shout out our open skate, which is Fridays from 8 p.m. to 9:20 p.m. at Mike Madonna Ice Arena, which is at 6210 North Wildwood Street. And there's also open skate Sundays, 1:30 p.m. to 2:50 p.m. And there were a lot of Westland residents there having a good time, and Just love to see that kind of stuff in our city. We've also launched a newly upgraded online payment portal, making it easier and more convenient to pay your taxes, water bills, permits, and other city invoices. The upgrade is a easier-to-use design, utilizes Google Pay and e-check options. It can be set up with an electronic wallet, recurring payments, and the processing fees are lower. We'll continue to work to improve those kind of services to save our residents money. And that's all I have tonight. I know there were some questions from the audience. Those questions I'll follow up with you once I get the information. But we'll talk and get those questions answered because I don't always have the answers in front of me. But thank you, everybody, for your questions. And everybody have a great evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Anything from the city attorney's office this evening?
Yes, thank you. You probably noticed I tend to keep my comments very short, and I will continue to do that today, but I do want to take a moment publicly to thank the mayor for the appointment and to thank the city council and Council President McDermott. I didn't know you felt so fondly of me, but I do appreciate the kind words that you said there. You know, for the better part of a decade, I've been working with Jim Fausone hand in hand to cover City of Westland related things. And so this, you know, appointment really means a lot, and it's quite the pleasure working with not only the council and the mayor, but also the entire administration. So we appreciate that, and we look forward to continuing to provide excellence in legal services, accessibility, and actionable legal advice. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We will now begin our council comments with Councilwoman Martin.
Oh, boy. I just want to thank everyone who voted for me out there in Westland. I appreciate your trust. This was a kind of long meeting. I hope going forward they're shorter. Congratulations to all the reappointments, and thank you again.
Okay, awesome. We will now hear from Councilwoman Sampe.
Thank you. I'll just loop in all of our appointments. Congratulations to everyone that stepped up. To our new council leadership, congratulations to both of you, Council President McDermott, Council President Pro Tem Maxwell, for your appointments. I know it's going to be a busy year, so you guys are going to be very busy. It had been mentioned, but I did want to send my condolences to the Sharp family. I had a chance to attend the visitation, and Ken really was a legend here in Westland, so I wanted to send my condolences to his wife Carol and all of his family. There also was an advocate, animal rescuer, neighbor, friend, vocal online, Jessica Grevenstock. She actually grew up here in Westland, and she lived in Romulus, but she was 44 and she passed away. So I just wanted to send condolences to her. So I had spoken with her not too long ago, and it's quite sad being so young to pass away. So I wanted to also just mention one more time about the Lighthouse Home Mission. They are opening up quite quickly their winter help. So it's a shelter that provides overnight support for those that need it. It's something that I'm passionate about, to make sure that people have a warm place to sleep at night. Last year, the mayor and I highlighted this and promoted it, and we were able to get quite a few donations, so hopefully we can do that again. It's just really important that they have volunteers. They cannot cook there at Lighthouse Home Mission, so if you are interested in donating a meal, please just know that they don't have a stove necessarily to actually make the meal. They can warm it up, but that's it. But typically, anywhere from 20 to 30 people go to the shelter in those winter months. So hopefully, as a community, we can support that. And then lastly, I wanted to thank Mr. Warren, who brought up about the MLK ceremony and having it in the community. I'm very happy that Burning Bush is hosting this. I was able to be part of their worship, the revival in the city, and I loved it. What an amazing church. I love Lady Shelby, who invited me, who is amazing. Bishop Shelby is amazing. So I'm really looking forward to this event, and I'm really happy that Mr. Warren brought this up, because I've agreed with you. I think it's really important to do things in the city. So, so thank you for that. Our next meeting will be actually on a Tuesday, so because of MLK Day, so Tuesday, January 20th. I talked enough about some of the things this evening, and hopefully the mayor and I can just kind of discuss, my questions and concerns around the grant writer and budget and such. So I'll reach out to you about that, Mayor. But until then, be safe and kind with one another, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Councilwoman Sampe. We will now hear from Councilman Sullivan.
Thank you. So first, I want to wish everyone a happy 2026. Just 360 days to go, and we got a lot to accomplish over the next year. So I'm looking forward to working with the administration and the city council, and hopefully we can accomplish a lot to help move the city forward over this next year. And I want to do just give a shout out to all the appointees. Thank you for your willingness to serve. A special shout out to the one I didn't get to vote for, my wife Sharon. Thanks for serving. Helps get us both out of the house. So it's a good thing. And congratulations to Kyle and Mo for your reappointments. Looking forward to working with you guys over the next couple of years. So. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, and I did want to give, my wife probably would like for me to announce the Westland Historical Society meeting is next Tuesday, the 13th, at the Historical Village. So everyone is invited out if you care about Westland history. They're always looking for members, and it's, again, it'll be 6 o'clock or 6:30, Tuesday, January 13th, at the Village, which is located on Wayne Road between Marquette and Cherry Hill. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Sullivan. We will now hear from Councilwoman Baumann.
Thank you. Well, first, Happy New Year. Just want to, it's still early in 2026. And just, I'm going to join in with my colleagues who gave a lot of the congratulations and all that. So I support all that and the memories and remembering of people. So I won't repeat that. But again, I just want to say thank you also for, actually, all the people that came tonight and spoke in our meeting today. Actually, that was really, really great. It's really great to see the engagement that we had tonight, as well as I do want to say thank you again for electing me to another term. And for that, we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you, Councilwoman Baumann. We will now hear from Pro Tem Maxwell.
I'll be brief as well. I just want to once again say thank you again for electing me for the 4-year term. I am looking forward to working with my colleagues and working with the residents and Westland administration. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice and easy. Well, first off, I want to congratulate all of my colleagues who are up here who are newly elected and re-elected. So congratulations to Councilman Sullivan, to Councilwoman Pro Tem Maxwell, Councilwoman Martin, and Councilwoman Emily Baumann. And in addition to working with them, I want to, always looking forward to working with Councilwoman Rakowski and Councilwoman Sampe. And I want to thank Councilwoman Sampe for her 2 years of service as a pro tem here. We went through a lot, ups, downs, everything in between. And you were a great partner to work with over these last 2 years. So I want to thank you for your leadership in the pro tem position. I know I didn't miss a meeting to get you to, run a meeting, but thank you for your leadership. Thank you for being a partner up here on the dais and even behind the scenes with all the work that we do that goes unseen. So thank you very much for that. I'm certainly greatly appreciative of that. Thank you. I want to congratulate the mayor on his reelection. So 4 more years that we will all hopefully collectively and collaboratively work together on moving and advancing our city, improving everybody's quality of life, taking care of the least of thee, and uplifting as many people as possible here in our community, in marginalized communities, and all across the city of Westland. I want to thank the Westland Goodfellows for their work this year. Another incredible year for the Westland Goodfellows Charity Drive, and thank our Westland Police and all of the sponsors for all the work that they put in to make the Goodfellows Charity Drive a success. So thank you to their president, Sampe, and all of the board on the Westland Goodfellows, and everybody that from the community that gave their time and effort or gave a donation. Thank you for coming out and supporting the Westland Goodfellows. I'm glad to see that we're moving forward on the culverts and ditches projects. I think that's a long time coming. And I think the big thing with that is not only the work that we're going to do here, but the work we're going to do in the future, because we can do a one-time job, but if we don't consistently maintain something, I don't want a future council, I don't want future residents having to come up here, future members of the Norway Citizens Council and say, hey, it's been 10 years since our ditches and culverts have been done, people's crawl spaces are flooding, people's houses are getting wet. As was noted by Mr. Warren, there's a reason those were put in, but they're useless if we don't maintain them with some regularity. So I'm very happy to see the work that Director Campbell, her team, Ramsey, and his team are doing, but I think proactivity in maintaining those moving forward so that we're not getting into a position like we've gotten in will be, I think, key and quite important. You know, I mentioned it earlier with the moment of silence, but again, I want to send my condolences out to the family of Ken Sharp, to Carol, his wife, and the entire Sharp family, and his Westland firefighter family as well. Ken was a longtime member of our Westland Fire Department and served for many years until his retirement, so certainly my condolences go out to them. We had some spirited debate tonight on the pay plan, and I think the key with that is to always be respectful, and I certainly understand the points that everyone was making. I don't think anybody's against the idea of bringing in a grant writer. It's something we've all supported and talked about wanting to have in the past, so I don't think, you know, any of my colleagues are against that. I will say that, you know, I had asked the mayor's office for a study session. I would like to see in the future on these kinds of things when we're sitting in the pay plan 2 years from now, having a study session so that we can have a lot of these deliberation and debate that we sat up here for a half hour, 45 minutes and had hashed out in a study session. And, you know, as my colleague, Councilwoman Baumann mentioned, sometimes you're sitting through a study session and a question pops in your head when somebody else asks something, and you may want to get an answer to that or may come in after the fact. So I would like to see a study session in the future on that. And then with that, wish you all a happy new year. If you need anything from me, you can always reach out and call or text me on my cell phone at 734-890-2146, or you can find me on Facebook at Councilman Mike McDermott. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn? Brevity, I'm trying. I'm trying, brevity.